Bonjour class! Okay, you have taken a quiz. You are now ready for lesson 2. So let's get started. Lesson 2 of Unit 1 is all about adjectives, really. We're going to start off with a few new expressions, but then we're really going to get into a lot of new adjectives and a lot of patterns for adjectives. But in this particular video, we are learning expressions with être. Être means to be. This is a verb you know. This is a verb you should know how to conjugate. If you don't know how to conjugate être, your life is about to become much more difficult. You learned this in French 1. I know it's been a while, but it is my expectation that you can flawlessly and always conjugate être when I ask you to. If you cannot, I recommend drilling until you can. So just to review the conjugations for être before we get started with the new expressions. Je suis, tu es, il, elle, or on est, nous sommes, vous êtes. There's liaison here, so you kind of say a Z sound. Vous êtes, and ils, elles sont. Okay, these all mean to be. So, je suis, I am. Tu es, you are. Il, elle, on est. He, she, it, one is. Nous sommes, we are. Vous êtes, y'all are, or you formal are. And ils, elles sont, they are. If you cannot conjugate this flawlessly, you should be writing this in your notes right now. If you can, congratulations. You don't need to write it. And then just a note here, I am never going to ask you to do this, but you will see this from time to time in directions, and I just want to let you know what it means. Specifically, you've seen soyez. So in the imperative form, être, it looks different than any other imperative form that you've seen. And we expect that, right? Être is an irregular verb. It makes sense that the imperative form would also be irregular. So in the imperative for tu, it's sois. Sois généreux. Be generous. In the vous form, which is the form you see in directions all the time, soyez logique. Be logical. You'll see this direction quite a bit when I'm asking you to choose the best choice from options. I'll say soyez logique, just means be logical, choose the most logical answer. And then in the new form, soyons. So soyons optimistes, let's be optimistic. Let's be optimistic about your ability to conjugate être consistently. Okay, so now that we have looked at être, you understand how to conjugate it, or if you don't, you understand that you need to learn how. There are a few expressions that use être that we want to learn. The first of these is how to agree with someone, or how to ask if someone agrees with you. Instead of having a verb that's agree, the French use the expression être d'accord avec. Être d'accord avec. To be in accordance with, to be in accord with someone. But it means to agree. Okay, so être d'accord avec means to agree. For example, the question here, vous êtes d'accord avec moi? Do you agree with me? Do y'all agree with me? Okay. And instead of moi, you could have a person's name. You could have avec le prof. Do you agree with the teacher? You could use any other stressed pronoun, avec lui, with him. Okay, so être d'accord avec, do you agree with me? And the word d'accord by itself, like if you said, hey, Ms. Harris, I'm going to turn this assignment late, and I respond, d'accord, it means okay. Like, okay. But in this phrase, être d'accord means to agree. Next expression with être is être en train de plus an infinitive. Être en train de plus infinitive. So you all know infinitives are the base form of verbs. They're translated as to whatever the verb is. So danser, to dance, chanter, to sing. So, nous sommes en train d'étudier. And I forgot to tell you what this even means. It means to be busy doing something, to be in the middle of doing something. So if I were to ask you, what are you doing right now? In English, you would say, oh, I'm doing homework, or I'm watching this video, which is fine in French, but you could use this phrase to be like, I'm doing this right now, I'm in the middle of it, I'm in the thick of it. Nous sommes en train d'étudier. We are busy studying. Nous sommes en train d'étudier. So the infinitive here, étudier. The de just changes to a de apostrophe because it starts with a vowel. And make sure you see we're conjugating être for these sentences. So vous êtes, nous sommes. Okay. The next one is être à, plus either the name of a person or a stress pronoun. Things like moi, toi, lui, nous, vous are the stress pronouns. And être à is how you show, it's a way to show ownership. Okay? So, for instance, I could ask the question, à qui est cette montre? À qui est cette montre? So, à qui means to whom. It's our conjugation of être. À qui est cette montre? To whom is this watch? In English, we would say, who does this watch belong to, or to whom does this watch belong? Or, more simply, whose watch is this? À qui est cette montre? And then in a normal sentence, not a question, you could say, elle est à Patrick. So it, the watch, it's elle because watch is feminine. It is to Patrick, or it is at Patrick. It belongs to Patrick. In English, we would say it's Patrick's. But this is how you show that in French. Être à. And then for stress pronoun, you can see elle n'est pas à moi. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It's not at me. All right. Those are the first three. Now we've got three more, all to do with time. So these are all in their own little slide. So first one, être à l'heure. Être à l'heure. You've seen this word. We know you've used it when you're saying time expressions. So être à l'heure means to be on time. Être à l'heure, to be on time. So je suis toujours à l'heure. I am always on time. You can see here there's a toujours in the middle of the phrase être à l'heure. It's just an adverb. It just goes in the middle there. It means always. Don't worry too much about it. I'm always on time. Je suis toujours à l'heure. Okay? So, if this means on time, I'm sure you can guess what être en avance means. Être en avance means to be early. Kind of looks like advance, right? To be in advance. But it means to be early. Mes amis sont souvent en avance. Mes amis sont souvent en avance. My friends are often early. And finally, if être à l'heure is to be on time and être en avance is to be early, then I bet you can guess être en retard. Être en retard means to be late. And then you can see aujourd'hui tu es en retard. Today you are late. So, to be on time, to be early, and to be late. Très bien. Alright, and that is going to be it for this video. I'm going to post a little practice with some of these phrases right after this to do. So go get started on that. I'm going to post a little explanation video with that, so I won't talk about it here. And we'll be done with this section of notes. Not too bad. Just 6 things. Not bad. Au revoir.